Father James Hanvey, you just gave us a wonderful talk about the formula of the Institute on a theological approach. My first question would be, what kind of text is the formula of the Institute?
Thank you very much, Patrick. Well, of course, one of the points I was making, you can read it in many different ways. You can read it as a juridical text, which it is. You can also read it as a historical text, which it is. It's obviously a founding text for us. But what I was trying to develop is this idea of a saturated text, picking up and developing an idea from Jean-Luc Marion. And what I'm trying to say is there's more going on in this text, that when you read it from within the society, you can read it as purely historical or juridical, but when you actually engage, it calls you. It immediately addresses you, saying anyone who wants to enter should bear in mind these following things. And then the other very personal voices in it, the we, the our, and we have learned from experience. So it's more than just a juridical text, and it's more than just a founding statement. It's actually a very personal address which draws us in, and therefore it opens up horizons, and in that sense it becomes saturated, and particularly, as you know, the theme of my talk was saturated with the Holy Spirit, because I think the early companions of Ignatius were saturated with the Holy Spirit and very much experienced the Spirit in their lives and in their ministry, calling them and sending them.
What would be the connection between this formula and the spiritual exercise?
Well, I don't think you can read the formula independently of the exercises and independently of the constitutions. Indeed, as you know already in the formula, it points towards the future of the constitutions, which in many ways develops and spells out what's in the formula. I think the real connection with the exercises is at several levels. We already hear the echo of the exercises right from the very beginning when it talks about under the banner of the cross, the two standards, and that profound desire to serve in humility, again, is the three modes of humility. So it's working all its way through there. I think at another level, of course, they all have the common experience of the exercises and the sending that is involved, the choice, the election, but also the sending that's involved. But perhaps there's something a little bit more subtle even than that, and it's being sent. I suppose it's trying to see the world through the eyes of the formula. And when we do that, we see that it is the theatre of God's salvific work, and they're being pulled into companionship and work with that. So I think there's a dynamism of the text beyond the text almost in that sense, into the world that way. And that's the movement of the exercises too.
Thank you. And final question, maybe just a final word. According to you, from your personal viewpoint, what would be the interest of rereading the formula today?
If I'm right about the formula, about it being a saturated text and also about that personal call, I think every time we go back to it, we're still summoned by it. We're still saying, this is what we were called to be, and how are we doing that today? Now, obviously, it's also a text which requires us to be adaptable and to adapt. But taking that fundamental vision and inspiration to keep God always first, if we do that, then how are we doing that today in our works, in our lives, for the good of the church and for the good of humanity?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.